Hello everyone, welcome back to another weekly Forex analysis and review. I'll start by explaining the NZD USD 1 to 8 risk to reward ratio that I took last week. Then I will look at other setup that took place last week and this week inclusive, right? So why I'm doing this is because last week I did not do any review, so I'm going to combine both last week and this week together. Right, I will be sharing very few, maybe one or two setups or pairs I'll be looking out for the week. But if you want to see more of the trades or setups before I take them, you can join the free Telegram group. The link is on the description of this video below. There, on a daily basis, before I take any trade, I share it so that everybody can see it, and if you want to take, you also take it. So the before and the after will be shared in the general Telegram group, right? So let's look at NZD USD last week. The week before last week I mentioned that I was looking to sell NZD USD if price gets into this zone, right? So when last week started, this is what happened. So price pushed into the zone I was expecting to sell from. At this point, this was the 4-hour time frame. At this point, where price hit the zone, I dropped that to a lower time frame. So this was 5 minutes time frame, and this is what I got. So what made me to take these entries that gave me 1 to 8 risk to reward ratio was when price hit the zone, I saw this sudden drop, a pullback that refused to create a higher high. The price drop breaking this low. So there was no break of structure on the 5 minutes time frame, but with this move, this impulsive move, this pullback and another impulsive move that break this low, I had a strong confidence that price will come back here and reject to sell to the downside, that if it wants to go back up, it will get to these levels before it will go back up. So I set my pending order for entry at this point on the 5 minutes time frame, because I see this one pullback, second move, and that's it. Then this was when price tapped into this order block where I set my pending order for a sell, and price dropped massively, and at the end price gave me 1 to 8 ratio. So that was how I took the NZD USD. Simple, right? On the 4-hour time frame, I saw this impulsive move that left with this order block. So my expectation, as far as price dropped with this impulsive move, all bearish candles to this level, the pullback to this order block will give a positive reaction. That was why I dropped down to lower time frame to see how I can get an entry, and I took that entry last week. Other trades that I took last week include Eurcad. This was on the 30th. When this happened with this impulsive on the 5 minutes time frame, I was expecting a pullback into this order block for me to sell. After seeing this 1, 2, 3, I was expecting a sell. This is 5 minutes, this is 15 minutes. So price moved into the order block, I took my entry, and I was taken out. So I had a loss on Eurcad last week, right? Then this was another expectation on AUD USD, where after this impulsive move that left this order block, I was expecting price to pull back into this order block. Then there's going to be a reaction, and that was it. There was a reaction. This is 4-hour time frame. Nice drop. Then I had another trade on Euro JPY, where on the 15 minutes time frame at the open of the London session, price tapped into this order block and got rejected. So I was watching in 1 hour, 50 minutes and 5 minutes time frame to see where I can get my entry, right? So this is what happened. Immediately price rejected, we saw this fill up candle, this candle that filled this rejection, and suddenly we saw this impulsive move with this candle on the 5 minutes time frame. I saw the price grab this liquidity, grab this low with just a candle and immediately reverse. So my expectation was for price to come back into this level, that's 50% of this move. Then I take my buy to 1 to 4 risk to reward ratio. So that was it. Price came back for the retest. Then I took my entries, 2 entries. Then one to first one to for me to take TP at 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. Then the second was at 1 to 4, and that is it. Price moved, sweep my first TP and sweep my second TP. That was a profitable trade for me on Euro JPY. Then I also explained that I was expecting a GBP card buy if price gets into this order block. You can see this impulsive move that took out this previous highs and left us with an order block here. So this is what happened after this impulsive move. Price consolidated for a long time, dropped very close to the order block, and that was how it moved away. So we didn't have any opportunity to take any entry on GBP card. Then this was another setup I had last week, GBP JPY on the 15 minutes time frame. So you see this sudden rejection. Price started here, pull up, came down all the way here and rejected immediately, and we had some candles that filled this rejection, and suddenly we had this impulsive move. So my expectation was for price to trade above this candle, this rejection candle. Then I put back into it. Then we take a buy on GBP JPY. This happened on the 2nd of November, right? So price traded out of it, and on a widespread chart, I marked this is a candle I was showing us there. So my expectation was for price to pull back into it, then we'll take a buy. So this is when price got into that candle and the buy started. See that before the end of the day we had already reached almost 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which is what we see here. So you see price traded out of it and came back into it, and that was the trade. And finally the next day we saw that price gave this impulsive move that got us 1-to-1, 1-to-2, and also 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio. So that was it for GBP JPY and last week. Then I had USD card expectation for price to come back to this order block, then I buy, and price did came back into the order block and bought to this high before dropping to the downside. Then I was also expecting gold to buy. So my expectation was price to get back into this zone, then I buy. That was for our gold, and this was on Friday 3rd November, right? So this is what happened. This is a switching to 1 hour time frame. This was the expectation. Price to get into this zone, then I look for an entry, and that is it. Price got into the zone and the buy took place on gold. So that was it on the trades and setup for last week. Then this week, this is what we had, starting from AUD JPY. See this happened on the 7th. So AUD JPY saw this rejection from this order block, and here you see this followed by an impulsive move with this a bullish candle. So my expectation was for price to come back 50% of this move, then for me to buy AUD JPY. right? That was it. Price pulled back into the 50%. I took an entry. I actually set a pending order. As you can see here, buy limit here for price to get here, then we'll buy. But I was taking out on AUD JPY on the 7th of November, right? So this was another trade I saw on the 10th. CAD CHF 15 minutes time frame, yeah, at the open of the London section. So we saw price took out this high with this impulsive move. I was already seeing some rejection here. If you look at the 5 minutes time frame here, you can see the rejections here. So my expectation was for a sell. So, and that's exactly what happened. You see this candle, bullish candle move up, and suddenly another bearish candle drop of the same size. So this was a nice expectation for me for a downfall, and that my expectation was after this drop, price should pull back 50% of this move, then I take a sell. But price never came back to retest before dropping down. Then I also had another setup on Euro USD. This happened on the 10th. Euro USD, I was expecting so you can see when price got into this zone, you see this rejection with this bearish candle, followed by an impulsive bullish move with just a bullish candle. So this, before this happened, I was expecting price to pull back into 50%, and as soon as price got into 50%, yeah, I took my 2 entries, and my first TP was to get 1 to 4 RR, and that was smashed. 1 to 4 was smashed, and my second TP was at this level. But at this time, I got my second entry secured after taking the first TP, but there was a pullback that took me out. So I'm still expecting that price will still move up to this level on Euro USD as the market will open. So this was another expectation I posted on the Telegram group, USD JPY. I was expecting that after this impulsive move, price should come back either to here or to here, then I look for a buy setup. So this is what happened, very close to the expected zone, and price moved away. This was 4-hour time frame. So that is that for the setups for this week. Now I'm looking at Eurocad on the 1-hour time frame. So this week I'm expecting, you see this move now, my expectation was for price to get to it before moving away. Price came very close to it, moved away, and currently price is also pulling back. So price may probably get here, break through it, and continue to downside, but or it may come here, get rejected and buy, or break here, then get here, reject and buy. So whichever case it is that will happen, excuse me, my expectation is once price get to this zone, I'll drop down to maybe 5 minutes time frame, lower time frame, to look for entry. If I see one, I'll buy. If I don't see, I will leave it. But I'm going to post it to the group if it occurs. Right, so other setups that will come up within the week, I will be posting to the group for us to see before we take the entries. I wish us all a pretty good weekend and a profitable next week.